All right. Just to start off, I mean, thought the guys really had a great approach. Yesterday really just kind of challenged the guys as we got into practice, into the practice week. To have just focus on improvement, and it's something we talk about all the time. Are you willing to fight for your improvement? Coming off the game Saturday, um, sure, all of them as well as every coach, probably got a lot of positive text messages. Feel a little bit better. You accomplished the first step, but none of us signed up for one step. It's about the continued growth as you progress through a season. Can you go and be better than what you've been? And I thought yesterday, it's probably one of our best practices we've had. Throughout today, there were a few moments where I didn't quite like the intensity in every period like it needed to be, and so guys got challenged, it got addressed, and it's an opportunity for us to grow through what we need to be, as we continue to push forward. But this is a team that is a competitive team, and I believe in what they who they are and what they're all about, and it's just the constant edge. That is only one person can choose to go be great, and you gotta be willing to make that choice for yourself. And I've got a lot of belief in the potential of this team, and as we continue to grow, I think we can achieve great things. But right now it's just about the day. It's about the rep. It's about the one opportunity. And I thought yesterday absolutely accomplished that. Today we had some inconsistencies, and so we have to get that corrected. But overall throughout this week, with the 2 days in pads, I thought it was very productive, and you guys are continuing to push for that improvement. So you do have announcement that Randy Pittman will be out this week. You'll probably here for the next couple. We'll see what it all looks like. He was dealing with a injury there early in camp, and was able to kind of manage that through for the Alabama game. But he'll be out for it'll be a short period of time. But he will be out for this week, which will open the door, opportunity, continue to see the guys, Amari, Landon, being able to see, with Landon, excited to be able to get him back into full effect and rolling. And then, Marquiston, who played a pretty good amount the other day. So, that's going to be a great opportunity for those guys. And, I know Randy will be back, here very soon, continuing to help our football teams. So, with that being said, I'll take some questions.
Randy played through what he's dealing with playing the Alabama game. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I mean he got himself to where he needed to be to play at the to be able to give everything that he had, and I mean, so yes.
I know you speak glowingly of him, but for his performance to be as good as it was, he's probably not as healthy as he could be.
He did a great job in preparing himself. I thought that. He played at a high level. He's a really incredible competitor, and you felt his physicality. You had a couple big catches there throughout. Kind of putting us in position. In 2 drives, and so he's a guy that is really he has the mentality, he's got the heart, and then that competitive spirit, which really you kind of sets him at a high level. He's not the biggest guy in the world, but I mean he sure plays like it, and so I've been pleased with his progression, and now to be able to for him to get back to full 100%, I think it's going to be great for all of us, and working through that process.
You mentioned opening doors for some young guys. Would Chase maybe get a look at tight end, or is the plan to keep him at receiver?
Yeah, I mean Chase is we were pretty good amount of 12 personnel there the other day. We thought it was good for the plan. And ultimately, as we continue to move forward, we're going to be able to utilize a lot of different personnel groupings in what we do. And so Chase has great versatility. But I love what I'm seeing from him. Out there at the receiver position. I think if we need to get him back into that, there's enough versatility of what we can do and how we can do it. But I'm really pleased with his progress.
Redshirt freshmen, guys who had played bigger roles than they ever have before. In general, how
No, I thought they did a really good job. And as you sit there and you see, freshmen step on the field, and guys that maybe even to play just sparingly, guys that redshirted last year that came in, and you felt their confidence, you felt the speed, the physicality. I mean, they didn't, they absolutely look like they belonged. And we've got a couple other guys that I think are pushing, right there at the edge to be able to make that same type of impact. And I know I mentioned earlier in the year, probably could have 8, 10 guys that that are true freshmen that have a chance to be that. And so I'm really looking forward to that whole group continuing to take those positive steps.
When we talked to Makai yesterday, we asked him about his touchdown. The first thing he pointed out to was the blocking downfield from Deuce. He talked about his off the field, or off the ball rather, involvement. There seems to be kind of a collective selflessness within your group right now. Have you felt that, and have you seen that throughout practice?
Yeah, I mean, I like the the mentality our guys have. I mean, there's not a receiver or running back, tight end. There's not one at the position that doesn't want the ball. I mean, every one of them wants the ball. And as you sit there and you go through it, it's appreciation of the things of what it is to play winning football. Plenty of guys can have a nice highlight, and you feel good about posting a highlight. But what are you doing when the ball's not in your hands? What are you doing whenever it's when you got to go do a little bit of dirty work to help Florida State win? And I thought that was something that showed up throughout the course of the game. I mean, you saw some I mentioned Randy. Randy had one of the hits of the game. For whatever the result of the play was, it still. I mean that establishes mentality. They remember that, and and I thought we saw that fight, that push, that effort with and without the ball, and guys understand the importance of those roles, and so that's something that we want collectively. I think that's something you watch, even defensively. To the point of contact, or are you away from it, but are you still pursuing? Are you still chasing? Are you still giving everything you have while doing your responsibility? But I don't want guys sitting around waiting for somebody else to make a play. I want to see guys go and do what they're supposed to do to be able to get that achieved. And so I think it was positive on really both sides, and how guys were able to go through that.
I saw you mentioned yesterday that you've been able to get back over to the hospital some this week. Just how are the players and coaches? How's everybody dealing with this?
Yeah, I mean it's a lot. I'm not going to say it's not. I mean I try to give the players a daily update. I talked to Ethan's dad this morning. I'm trying to just check on him, check on Ethan. I was able to go by yesterday, and for a short period of time, just was limited visitation, but getting a chance just to be there even for just a handful of minutes. I mean it was it's good to be with him, and he's still in a stable condition, and like I said, we're going through the process, and he's got all things that are in front, and I mean we're absolutely praying for him every day, and just trying to be there for our players too. Yes, it's one thing on the field, but it's also off the field. Just that's one of their brothers and guy that they deeply care about, and just kind of working through just part of the tragedy of what it is.
All right. You guys had a lot of recruits there last weekend. Was that? I mean, I imagine it's as good as you could ask for in terms of the reactions. Have you noticed any changes in people reaching out or anything like that since that game? Like, what do you feel? I didn't speak specifically, but
Yeah, no, I mean it's. I think it opened some eyes, and there's, what I like is the ones that beforehand, they had seen some part of the process, whether it's spring, summer, whenever they were here, and the confidence that they had in what this could be, and just obviously the way that we spoke of the first game, and that's really what all has been accomplished. It's been the first game, and we got to go continue to be all that we are as a team. But then it definitely shocked some, and like I say, I mean there's been some phone calls that have been made, and some phone calls that have been received, and phone calls that have been made that I'm excited about. Just continued progression, because you can hear a lot of it, as you with new faces, new coaches, new players. You can hear a lot. And one of the things that the guys liked is, I saw a lot of freshmen. They saw a lot of freshmen that got a chance to go and that were prepared and ready to play early. And obviously, as a recruit, you want to be able to go to a place that you have a chance to make an impact. And the guys came in and they earned that. And so it's I think they saw it all.
All right, one more.
You guys asleep, huh?
We make so much about the transfers because they're new, but the development of the guys like Ashland and some of those guys that have been in the program and now seem to be taking this big step, just how gratifying that, how excited are you about those guys?
No, it's great. You can go through a lot of guys on defense specifically that that really have grown up. You look at the linebacker core. Blake had a couple great. I thought Blake played one of his best games. It didn't play just a ton of snaps, but that as you saw as the game progressed, he got in. He's playing fast, playing confident. And then that's going to continue to grow. Blake, Juice. You mentioned, Ashland coming in and seeing him really growing in who he is, what he's about. Jarrell Rawls, did some great things that really excited about. Daniel Lyons, I thought played at a high level for what for where he's been and where he's continuing to grow through. And there's a list of guys all over the field on really both sides. Mekhi Danzy coming in and having those critical plays. That's something that encourages me for. Just the growth throughout the program, and yes, you got some guys that have come in that bring experience and they bring just a great complement to what was here, and then obviously what these guys are able to accomplish here at Seminoles.
All right, last one will be Brenda. It seemed like James Williams' role maybe shifted during the course of the game. He still was really productive as a pass rusher. So what was the messaging to him during the game? I'm making an assumption that some of the run stuff wasn't as strong as he would have liked.
No, he actually did some good things. There was obviously some areas where we all get to continue to grow in it, but I've been really pleased with James, and he's a guy that comes to work every day and brings the right mentality, thought process. He as we got out of that game, you felt his presence, and being able to be disruptive, there in the as a pass rusher, and force the quarterback off the spot, and still a couple of those that we gotta finish on, but he's he came back out here, and he's a guy that even his last both days to yesterday and today, felt him. I felt his presence of pushing to go get better, and so he's gonna be a great player. I really believe that, just because his mindset, his approach, and continuing to emerge throughout the the role that he has. And I think even with what that looked like on Saturday, some of that was for him, and then some of that was because guys that got opportunities did great with opportunities, and they to be able to have the depth to be able to roll guys, and you'll keep guys fresh for certain situations. That was good.
All right, thank you, Coach.
All right, thank y'all.